Hey there, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Me, I'm fine. Yeah, thanks for asking. I kind of woke up to the sound of birds arguing outside my house. Chose a side. There's a war. We come back on the 20th of January. We are on our way to the next show. Again, very unoriginally named GRW Live in January 26. However, what I wanted to do first, I just wanted to quickly run through what I think our goals are going to be in this year. And to do that, I need to bring out my trusty spreadsheet. So you've seen the spreadsheet in its various forms and various guises over the last couple of episodes. However, me being the absolute stat nerd that I am, I may have built my very well named sheet 7. And we have this colossal beast. So what I've been doing is I've been working out what we need to do to get where we want to be, which brings me back on to the two goals. Goal number 1, I want us to aim to be tiny, which sounds very, very weird when you say it out loud. I want to be tiny, but we're currently insignificant. Tiny is a step up. To do so, we need to get to 17 popularity points in our region. So that takes us on to this column here. Basically, what I did is I looked at where we are in December. We were on 6 popularity points, right there. And I then kind of extrapolated backwards. On average, if all things being equal, which yes, absolutely they're not, but if all things were equal, this is what we need moving backwards to get back down to 0. So it was about a 0.5714 was roughly how much we were gaining on average per month. What I've then done is I've then taken that figure and I've moved it forwards. And if we look from January, in theory, again, we don't know exactly where we are on that 6. We could be at 6.99999. We don't know. But using that figure as an example, I've moved forward and there is the potential by December to be at 17 popularity points. So that is goal number 1. I want to be tiny. Then the rest of this spreadsheet is more aimed towards goal number 2. I want us to be financially stable and potentially independent from our owner. Now, I don't know how long Mr. Seaman plans to stick around, but he gave us 100 grand when he started. And we are slowly whittling away at that. Obviously, we had a big old tax deduction in our first month. However, trying to work out, based on the extrapolated attendance rates, this is what I'm predicting for the rest of the year. And it'd be lovely if we beat this. Based on our sponsor rates and how they've gone up, what I'm expecting for the rest of the year. And based on our merchandise, what I'm expecting for the rest of the year. And merchandise is all this down here. Because the way it works at the moment is for the month of January, we are going to get 50 cents per person in attendance. And we're going to get $1 per popularity point worldwide. So in theory, we're going to get half the 106, and we're going to get about 13 or so, which makes $66. And then I've been working that one forward as our popularity increases and as our merchandise level changes next month. So instead of getting 50 cents, we're going to get $1 per person, and we'll get $3 per popularity point worldwide. So our sponsorship and our merchandise are both looking good, and there is good grounds to start earning a lot of money. I've then, and again, super nerdy, I've then worked out roughly how much we're spending on our workers over the last couple of months, and I've put on about a $15 increase month by month, because we will probably pick up some more workers. We'll get some more wrestlers. They will probably be a bit more expensive. If we only pick them up in September, we've banked all that money. But yeah, I've aimed for roughly about a $15 increase month by month. Our show costs, luckily, it's staying the same. Our marketing, staying the same. Our merchandise, this is purely based on our upgrades. We upgraded from level 1 to level 2, and we've got about 4 weeks roughly left at this point. So we'll pay a full 1,000 in January, we'll pay 250, and then moving forwards, as long as we do not increase any of our merchandise and levels again, that's going to stay the same. And our production should roughly stay the same. So we have our income, we have our expenditure, and then we have our performance indicators. So by looking at the end of this month, we will probably make a loss. Again, a lot of that is on the merchandise. Next month, maybe we might grow in popularity, but we're probably expected to lose about 122. And then from March onwards, I'm expecting us to start earning money. Based on these factors, though, by the end of the year, we are going to be about 10 grand down. So I want to do better than this. I want to see a lot more growth in the merchandise and in the attendance, but I don't think it's outside of the realms of possibility. So that's goal number 2. So just to recap, number 1, become tiny with 17 popularity. Number 2, make sure that we've got 100 grand in the bank just in case our owner decides to jump ship and leave. So just breaking the fourth wall just a smidge, you're only actually watching this bit that I record every single time on the off chance that there is actually a decent locker room incident. If they're really boring, I'm not actually going to include this scene. Should we have a look? Okay, yeah, Heather Reckless, who's dating somebody else, and Fred Yeehee have bonded recently. Heather Reckless is professional, Yeehee is also professional, both currently pleased. There we go, we got some training going on. He ran it for 6 students: Logan, Monroe, Murphy, Alexander, Tupu, and Bronson. Fair. Boucher, or Boucher, I think we're going to go for Boucher, came to me backstage with an idea for a creative finish. It has been automatically added to our stored ideas. Let's see if this one goes any better than Turbo Floyd's did. And that's it. That's really worth the time, wasn't it? We are all booked up. So we have got 5 matches on the card today. We start with the opener, Turbo Floyd versus Solomon Tupu. We then move on to Isaiah Bronson versus Shane Boucher, who may or may not have his creative finisher used. We move on. Adrian Quest faces Calvin Tankman. We then have Anakin Murphy versus Evan Jalistico, our road agent. He came to us during the month and even put it on the news story, saying that he was a little bit frustrated. He hasn't been performing. Nobody's been booking him. So we've booked him. Is he going to win, though? That's the question. And for our main event, we have Yeehee versus Hide and Seek for the Glory Road Championship. And if you remember, a few shows ago, he botched a move for us, didn't he? And I was considering some payback. So I wonder what's going to happen here. Should we roll the show? Let's go and have a look. We open up with a decent match where Tupu defeats Turbo Lloyd in 12 minutes, 7 seconds by a pinfall. Designed to work the crowd, I think it's done just that. Equal roughly in performance, 34 rated overall. Lovely. We then, move on to a not so good match. In a decent match, Boucher defeats Isaiah Bronson in 9 minutes and 44 seconds by pinfall. The creative finish was risky. It needed to have Boucher as the winner. However, it hasn't really paid off, has it? Boucher's got the worst performance. The finish has failed. We've got a 21. Let's see if we can pull it back from here, shall we? And pull it back we kind of have. In a bout with great wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd, Quest defeats Tankman in 9 minutes, 50 seconds by submission. That match was designed so the wrestlers could go out and steal the show. Again, pretty equal when it comes to performance. Quest with a 44, Tankman with a 36. Overall rated 44. Nice. Okay, here we go. Moving on. We then have Anakin Murphy versus our road agent. That hasn't gone down very well at all. In a decent match, Murphy defeats Jalistico in 10 minutes, 6 seconds by submission. Fairly closely rated, 27 out of 20. Jalistico got his gimmick off to a poor start. Murphy was off his game. Cody Lane could have done better. He was our covering road agent. And Jalistico was rusty, which, yeah, if you've not wrestled in forever, that's going to be it. Apparently the crowd got hotter though, so yay! We then move on. In a bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Yeehee defeats Roman hide and seek by 9 minutes and 44 seconds by a Koji clutch. It was designed to tell a specific story. Fred makes defense number 3 off the Glory Road Championship. Fairly closely rated. Fred got a 46, we got a 39, the 42 rated overall, and we've kind of let him slide on this one. Yeah, sure, he almost botched the move, he almost injured us, but he didn't, and he puts on better matches than us, so it's a bit of a given. We'll let him run with that championship just for a little bit longer. I don't know how long he'll keep it, but for now, Fred, you can have it. Overall show rating 41, increases popularity in one more region. We're going to skip over that. We will, we'll skip over that. Have we moved up a popularity? We have. We are now at 7, which if we move back to the old spreadsheet, is kind of where we were expecting to end here. So we're actually a little bit further up than what we were expecting. That's fine. We'll take that. And let's move on to the end of the month. Let's grab some finances, shall we? All right, it is month end time. You can already see it up there, but let's go and have a look at finances. So, we were fairly close in our approximations. Merchandise was a little bit higher than I thought. However, if we move back to our notes, the upgrade has completed. So what I thought was going to be one payment next month was actually an extra payment this month. And that is done. So we're now upgraded. We'll check that out in a moment. We were a little bit lighter on the workers. Everything else is pretty much as I expected, 255, 75. We've averaged that out to 337. So we were pretty close to being spot on. So let me go and have a look at the spreadsheet with those amended figures. Yeah, so things are looking different. Good different. It does look, now based upon in fact I haven't even upgraded that, but if we're going to do that, then it does look like next month we're going to be making money. Not a lot of money, 229.54, but we're going to be making money. What that will then do is, by the look of it, over the end of the year, 92,000. So we're about $3,000 higher than we were expecting. And if we keep going with our popularity, we might get that 100k. We return for show 2 of the episode. We had to move it forward a day because that rascal Billy Starks is always working for AEW. Our other one is still on maternity leave. So it's kind of hard to get a women's division going with only one woman on it. So yeah, we moved it forward a day. It's on the Friday, the 27th. We've got a locker room incident. Let's go see what that's about. And that's just some training. And that was it. We arrive at the start of show number 2 of the episode. And this is the card that we have. So our opener is going to be Heather Reckless versus Billy Starks. It's going to be the very first women's match in GRW history. I've put it on as the opener because I've got absolutely no idea how this match is going to turn out. Could be amazing. Billy's not that great just yet, so I have a feeling it's not going to be brilliant. So it's our opener. We then move on to just a general mid-card match. Isaiah Bronson is going to face Solomon Tupu. Both of them aren't doing too well in the win-loss columns, so this is just a way we can give one of them a bit of a bump. We move on. We have Tommy Billington. He has been one that we've booked for a while. He has been in, I think it's New Japan Pro Wrestling for a while. However, now that we've moved the day forward, he's free. So he's going to face Cody Lane so we can see how he gets on. After that, we have a 4-way match. We have Quest, Hide and Seek, Tankman and Monroe, and I'm hoping that that is going to have implications for our April show, our season finale. We then move on to our main event. Now this one, at first glance, seems a little weird. Boucher is not great. However, if you go and have a look at the show history, we just select all the shows. We look at May, Fred won. We look at June, Fred won again. We look at July, Fred won again. There's a pattern, isn't there? However, we get to this show in August. Boucher and Monroe defeat Fred and Turbo Floyd. Monroe does end up losing here. So currently, at the moment, in our company, Boucher is the only one that technically has a win. So we've put him in the main card today for the strap. I could regret this. But let's go see how it is. Let's get off of this screen. Let's run the show. Let's go see how the girls do. So 27. Okay. That's better than I thought it was going to be. In a decent match, Heaven Reckless defeats Billy Starks in 11 minutes, 44 seconds by submission. Obviously, it was the opener. It's designed to work the crowd. 29 against a 20 and a 27 overall. I'm all right with that. 108 people. That's gone down. That was 111 last month. We then move on to a bout with decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat. Tupu defeats Bronson, 12 minutes, 24 by a pinfall. They both have exactly the same performance rating of a 28. So is our segment rating. We then move on a little bit further. Okay, so Tommy Billington has an in-ring performance of 16. He debuted his gimmick, which got a rating of awful, and he was off his game. However, he did lose. Cody Lane beat him in 12 minutes, 23 seconds by pinfall, and we got a 32. So Cody Lane pretty much carried that match. On to our four-way. In a bout with superb wrestling, a decent reaction from the crowd. Tankman defeats Quest, Hide and Seek, and Monroe when he submits Hide and Seek. Monroe actually, weirdly, is the weak link, despite being someone that we thought was going to do pretty well week in and week out. When you look at the ratings, Quest is a 49, Hide and Seek and Tankman have got a 45, and Monroe has a 34. So maybe he isn't the wrestler that we thought he was. Time will tell. Jury's not out on him just yet. We're not going to Manny Low him, but we'll monitor Monroe. We move on then to our championship match. It's got a 51. That's actually not too shabby. In a bout with superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Fred, and you probably noticed I've started calling him Fred because I can't figure out the pronunciation of his surname, defeats Boucher in 10 minutes, 28 seconds with another submission with a Koji clutch. He makes defense number 4 of the championship. Boucher gets a 27, Fred gets a 59. We get a 51 overall. The show closes with a 48. That's not too bad. We won't address the locker room. We will have a look. We only lost about 800. I think that's even gone up even further. We're on to an 8 now, but I think we're actually on track to make quite a bit more profit than I was expecting. We're going to come back in a moment and have a look. It's the 1st of March. It is time. It's also time to go see what these two messages are about. But it's time to check the finances. And apparently, one of the founding fathers has quit AEW. Apparently, he wanted an immediate pay rise, didn't get it, and decided to throw his toys out the pram. Nice. Okay, so for the month of February, we actually made a fair bit more bank than I expected. Merchandise was a lot further up. Costs pretty much what we expected. But yeah, 541. Let's go and have a quick look at what these messages are about. Okay. Reign Victoria is our other wrestler who was on maternity leave. So just giving side eye to me there. So, yeah, we can run her on the next show. And probably going to be rusty. So, yeah, we'll see how that one goes. And this must be, I think, for a member of our booking team. Yes, it is. So I've had a bit of a look. Because we are kind of the hide and seek road to glory challenge, our booking skill is pretty naff. It's taken us, 8-9 months, and we've managed to get 36, I think it is, creative energy. So we need to get somebody else on this team. Him, Scott Demore, could potentially be that answer. So if we go, anyone got any opinions? No. Okay, let's go to his profile. He's fairly cheap. He can do a road agent work. If we look at his skills, his psychology isn't bad. His reputation's good. Booking reputation and booking skill, really high. Really high. So I'm hoping he is going to give us a boost to our creative energies, and we can start using some creative finishes and start pushing our ratings a lot higher up. I mean, Fatal Heal, I don't care. B, are you better at anything? Let's go and have a look. Tributes. Yeah, plays Weasley and Underdog. Sure. Be a heal. I don't care. Excellent. Okay, so we are going to sim forward. We have one more show in this episode, and then we are going to come back next month in April for our very first season finale and end of year one. All right, it is time for the final show of the episode, and it is the first one with a logo. Ooh, look at that. Not a lot really to go on with. So we have a locker room incident. We are going to see if that's okay. It's creative finish. We now have two, actually, because my user character, because I've forgotten to add on the other guy, we managed to get to 40. So we have picked up a creative idea, character idea. So now we have two. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to mention this one in a moment, but we've hired a few more wrestlers, and Amina Belmont was one of them. And blimey, they've already seen each other. They move fast. We've got some pre-show drills, lovely stuff. 10. We've also, again, there's a few more. My Young Jay is there. Gunnar Miller. I don't remember signing Gunnar Miller. We'll have to double check that one. And Ryan Redfield. He is one of our new signings. Let's get out of here. We are going to save that. And we're going to quickly go to our roster so I can actually show you those new signings. So there she is. There's Amina Belmont, 24-year-old female wrestler. Not particularly brilliant, but 24 and just a body that we can use in the women's department. We have then got Gunnar Miller. So, yeah, he's all right. He's not amazing. He's not going to set the world on fire, but again, an extra body. We then move on to my Young Jay Lee, whose fundamentals and physicals are looking pretty good. Primaries and mentals could probably do with a smidge of an improvement. However, he relocated to the Mid-South and, can pick him up on the cheap. Ray Victoria is now back from maternity leave, so she will probably get a run out tonight. We then have Ryan Redfield, who, again, not going to set the world on fire. There's our new booker, who is just apparently sitting around doing nothing today. I think it's what's the term that we're looking for? It's an introductory night for him, so he can work out how we work, and then he starts on Monday. Well, it is Monday. He starts on Tuesday. So our show is booked. We are going to start with a 4-way women's match. So we're going to have Belmont versus Starks versus Reckless versus Victoria. So we're going to give them all a run out tonight. Let's see who impresses. After that, we have new signing Young Jay Lee facing up against Devon Monroe. Let's see if Monroe can do anything compared to his poor performance last month. We then have Mr. Hide and Seek, myself, versus another new signing, Ryan Redfield. New sign on the clock today, look at this. After this, we then have Gunnar Miller versus Cody Lane, Yeehee versus Connolly, and then we have some post-match shenanigans. Should we get on with the show? I think we should. All right, we start with a bout with decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling.
Reckless defeats the rest of them when she submits Amina Belmont. Heather Reckless carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, which, when you look at the stats, yeah, that looks about right. Everyone else had a 14/15/16. She had a 31. Amina did get her Phoenix Princess gimmick off to a great start, though. Both Amina and Rain are rusty. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Rain's just been off with a child. Amina has no excuse. Crowd got hotter, got off to a strong start. It's a 24. For a women's match with a bunch of rusty wrestlers, I can't really complain. That one is okay. We got an injury as well. In about that, decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Myung Jae Lee defeats Devin Monroe in 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Now, he had a performance of 11. Devin had a performance of 36. Myung Jae Lee is rusty. He also got a strained hamstring. It's a 23. Yeah, I know. I just told the crowd that. Thanks, Evan. Cheers for that. Okay, so Devin botched the move as well. Okay, drama. We then move on to a bout with decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat. Hide and Seek defeats Redfield in 9 minutes, 56 seconds by submission. We got a 45. Redfield got a 14. He got a very good start to his gimmick. For some reason, Scott D'Amore was moved up to a road agent in that one because he didn't put the match together very well, and Redfield was rusty. So 27. This is not a good show so far. That's getting better. In about decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat, Cody Lane defeats Gunnar Miller in 9 minutes and 58 seconds by submission. And I'm going to sneeze. We'll cut this bit out. All right, Miller's got an 18. Lane has a 36. Gunner's got his People's Captain gimmick off to a good start. And Miller was rusty. It's like none of them work when they're not working for me. It's a 31 overall. Sadly, it is the best match of the night so far. We move on. That's much better. In a bout with superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Yeehee defeats Conley in 9 minutes, 36 seconds with another Koji clutch. It was designed so they can go out and steal the show. Fred's made defense number 5. Fred's got a 55. Austin's got a 33. Again, Scott D'Amore could have done better as a road agent. I didn't even set him as a road agent. That must have done it automatically. And the crowd are buzzing with a 46. Now, here's the bit that I'm worried for. Post-match. Fred soaks in the crowd's cheer after a hard-fought match when chaos erupts as Tupu storms in, floors him, and demands a title shot at the anniversary show. Tupu is actually on a little bit of a roll at the moment. Brutal kicks keep Fred down until Adrian Quest charges in, forcing Tupu to retreat. Now that the champion picture shifts, it looks like a triple threat showdown seems inevitable. It's got a 28. And again, you just, I got to turn you off. You're not going to be a road agent anymore. You're not very good at it. All right, let's have a look at our final show rating. It's a 40. That's pretty rough compared to some of the stuff we've been putting out recently. It has, however, let's go and have a look at this. Oh, it's only a week. Yeah, it'll be fine. It has, however, increased our popularity in one region, which, even though it's not enough to put it up to a 9, it's probably getting us fairly close. So let's roll on to the end. So basically the 1st of April. Let's go and check our financial standings and we'll see roughly how close we are to hitting our targets. March has drawn to a close, much like this episode is. What we have to do, quick look at the finances, quick look at the projections, and then we can all get on with the rest of our days. So here we go. We didn't do as well as last month. However, there was an extra $100 on the worker costs. We were only about $13 less in profit than last time. So it looks like money-wise, we are moving in the right direction. We then go and have a look at the projections. I have updated here, or maybe not with those because it was 111, I believe. But I have updated our projections with what we are looking at. And it's dropped just a smidge. Not a lot, but a few good shows. And yeah, I reckon we could hit that 100k. So I think that is where we're going to leave the episode. In the next one, we're going to have our anniversary show. I have updated all of my sheets to see who is on form and who is not. So, yeah, when you look at this, there are a number of people that probably in the new year will maybe no longer be here. If you look at Sean Logan, for instance, 2017, 21, 21, 22, 22. I mean, he's had a good show there. I mean, we haven't shown him for a couple of months. But yeah, he's not doing too well. Boucher isn't doing brilliantly. Dean Alexander, again, hasn't been on shows for a couple of months, but he's not doing too well. And even though I thought he'd do better, Anakin Murphy isn't doing too well either. So I think in May, once the anniversary show is out of the way, I think we're going to go shopping. Yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. Feed my fragile ego. I'll see you guys next time.